In 1971, a band emerged from Belgium with a darker, more becalmed approach to jazz rock. I am talking about Placebo, and from their 1971 release Ball of Eyes, the track You Got Me Humming. I like the trade-off between that bass and the piano. So far, I got kind of like an R&B type feel. It sounds like a really simple drum setup. Like I'm hearing just some kick drum, snare, and tight hi-hat. Oh, beautiful, like sparkly piano over just a two-note progression. This has kind of like an early '80s vibe in a way to it. I'm thinking this is something that could have been done. Not really the drumming element so much as like that piano line over like a really simple dark bass line could have been like on a, I don't know, like a Gary Newman album, like 10 years later. So far, very kind of minimalistic. Let's see, what do we got going here? We got piano, of course. This is a guy who would go on to many great things. Yeah, Marc Moulin on piano, electric piano, and he also plays some other instruments. I'll mention them if they come up on this track. And bass by Nick Kletchkovsky. Oh, looks kind of like guy who probably came from Eastward, judging by the name. Oh yeah, he later turned up on Solus Lacus, that great 1975 jazz rock album, and Marc Moulin, of course, has a big future ahead of him. Now, the woodwind is just starting to work its way into the mix. We have got a four-piece brass section on this record, assuming that they all appear on the same track. Yeah. Oh yeah, I stand behind the Gary Newman comparison. Yeah, there were moments like on Telecon and Dance where you would have like these sly dark bass lines like what we just heard there, and then with tinkly light, crisp piano and kind of an overall sort of barren, dark environment. Come to think of it, Cedric Sharpley was using a somewhat simplistic drumming setup, kind of raw, on like 79, 80 Newman recordings anyway. You always see my face just kind of like light up when those moments come where, oh, I guess it was heralding something else. Yeah, vocals, wow. But like whenever some very different contrasting sound just suddenly like rises like out of nowhere, yeah. Let's back up. I don't know what you got, but it's sure voice, kind of like soulful, like kind of like Steve Marriott quality.
Makes my control that the wind just blows right through me.
Offhand, I don't know who's singing this. Discogs and the way they put different credits in different. Some credits they put under the actual song title rather than in the bottom. In vocals here are by Guy Thiessen, yeah. And wow, only 2 credits according to Discogs. That seems kind of like a waste. Oh, and a few more under an alias, Leslie Kent. Oh, but this guy seems too good to be so unrecorded. He was on this 1972 album on the Pink Elephant label. Plus, I don't think I know that one off. No, that's something I haven't gotten around to. The different brasses kind of like doubling up, or it's a few layers, a few different instruments playing notes. Yeah, I should introduce our guys here. Okay. Okay, I didn't mean to come off like that. Let's see. Okay. Johnny Dover, baritone sax, bass clarinet, flute, percussion. Alex Scorier, soprano sax, tenor sax, flute. Nick Fissett, trumpet, and Richard Rousselet, trumpet, flugelhorn. Richard Rousselet, I know I've been to his page recently because the link is purple rather than blue. Yeah, he was in Act Big Band. Mad Unity, Mad Unity, that the great 1975 one-off with Cohen D. Bruin. I did one of his on here about a month ago, and Jenko Nilovic, very prolific French library musician. Oh, and he was also on the Solace Lacus album from 1975. You gotta like listen to different elements, like the rhythmic element, because this band has kind of become a favorite in rare groove circles. And like what it is, like the elements that people are listening to in these tracks that make them like want to like sample or do mix-ups and stuff, or like turntablism. That 1981 Act Big Band album might have just been a reunion of sorts for the brass, or at least 2 of them anyway, the brass players on this. I like that sound that's coming out of there, that kind of distorted, trebly sound, thin. Yeah, a little like organ of. say guitar, but no, no, it's a keyboard. Actually, I guess it could be like an electric melodica played. It could be like a melodica played through some effects pedal. Yeah, yeah. Marc Moulin is credited with that instrument. He's also credited with electric harpsichord on the album somewhere. It's amazing the kind of soul that these like white European vocalists had at the time, like emulating the likes of like Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, James Brown, but how oftentimes some of these guys would sound alike in their imitations. I mean he was probably just as influenced by Steve Marriott as he was by the Americans, but yeah, it's and if yeah, it's just and then there were a few select years in which the English vocalists were really exploring that, and then I almost see sometimes it's not like all these people had similar speaking or sounding voices, but and then 10 years later, everyone was singing kind of in that thinner, kind of more adenoidal range, and yeah. I really like how that melodica is interacting now, getting kind of speeding up and getting more wiggly. Well, there are a lot of elements going on at this point, like all the combined, because this track had been quite minimal through much of its length, and now just all the different elements that have been introduced at different points in the track are all just kind of being layered on. Yeah, the entire horn players are, especially coming out of my left speaker, the melodica coming out of the right, the rhythm section, like really holding the center. And those piano notes, of course, still accenting. Wow, it's really exploring the scale potential of that melodica. And some real unison playing from the brass. Oh, the fading notes of that melodica. Yeah, that was You Got Me Humming by Placebo from their 1970, the Belgian band's 1971 album, Ball of Eyes. Yeah, their first of 3 albums released between 1971 and 1974, and Marc Moulin, the keyboardist, would release a solo album, Sam Suffy, in 1975. I did a couple of tracks from that a few months ago, yeah. Would then appear, do some work with the band's Koss, not becoming an official member, but just he appeared on Koss's second album, Viva Buma, and the first album by Aksak Mogul, and then in 1978 he formed the band Telex, electro art pop band, yeah, who went on to put out a bunch of great singles and albums between like 1979 and the mid 80s. Let's hear another track from Ball of Eyes, the Ball of Eyes album, the track Plains. Bit of dark sax. Okay, was I hearing some electric harpsichord there? Maybe. really deep, low bass, dark, kind of giving a spooky vibe. That flute giving us kind of some like fog in the dark. Some steam. Yeah, like that though, and those horns kind of like functioning as like light beaming over the top of like some really dark, desolate landscape. Droplets of kind of like oily psych keyboards. Suddenly getting a little bit jazzy. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's something else in the rhythmic element. I like that modulation. Yeah, taking like that organ horn riff, da na 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 na, and then like modulating it through a deeper and deeper, lower chordal bass. Wow, really booming. I hope that didn't wasn't too reverberating. I hope that didn't come out distorted. Just that like kind of like wiggly, kind of oily psychedelic keyboard, like playing amid the that boom boom boom. Oh, now we got 3 elements: boom boom boom, da na 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 na, and then that wiggly sound. It's almost like that theme, kind of like rises slightly each time the bass notes like plunge further and further. Oh, kind of just like becoming all like loose and. And then really doubling up now. Yeah, there was a constant like emphasis on the third and then de-emphasis on the fourth. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that was Planes by Placebo. And before that, You Got Me Hummin', 2 tracks from from the Belgian jazz rock band's 1971 release, Ball of Eyes. Yes, their first of 3 great albums, all rare groove classics here in the 21st century, and several musicians in the band that would go on to great things. Let's see, I didn't mention drummer Frederick Rottier. Played on a whole bunch of Benelux jazz and pop releases during the era, and I guess that pretty much covers it, yeah. Anyway, for more rubies and sapphires from the 3 Placebo albums, see the directory of albums by Belgian artists linked in the description below for Red Hot Tracks and Purples from this album and the 2 after it. Their second was titled 1973, released in 1973, and their third album, self-titled, simply. Yeah, and then go through the other pages in the directory to see like the Marc Moulin album, and then his stuff with Telex and just all the related, Act Big Band, other Abraxas, other things that I've mentioned here. Yeah. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and share the video like on the music forums and such. And leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we just heard. The interplay, the layers, the mood, the spookiness, the overall vibe. Which solo stood out to you? Who had the best lick, the best fill? And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most air-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.